Hi, everyone. Welcome and thank you for attending our very first Young Women in Sports career panel. So we're really excited to welcome Sarah Phillips, Kyle Lefkowitz, Danny Rogers to our panel today.
We're going to start off with one question about what interested you all in the sports entertainment industry, and have you always been interested in sports?
Both my mom and my dad were college basketball players, so that had a huge influence on our family, huge basketball family. And then they also both worked in the sports industry, my dad in ad sales and my mom as a sports agent. So seeing that from a young age just really inspired me. And being an athlete, not quite D1 enough to play in school. So that's why I joined the lacrosse team as a manager, because I figured if you can't play, join them, at least learn, from the organization. But yeah, I think one of my favorite things about the sports industry as a whole is just the commonality that it builds between people in the love of sports and just like passion for all the culture that surrounds it. So that really drew me to working in sports because it's such an amazing community and it really brings people together. So big sports fan my whole life.
And how do you wish that you knew when you were in college that you know now?
Don't be afraid to, reach out to those junior people and ask the stupid questions. Ask like the questions that you actually want to ask, because that's how you're really going to learn. And that's something that I definitely wish I knew and was way less afraid, to ask, because I know now that I'm in that position, like any of you could call me any day of the week and I'm happy to talk to you for 3 hours about all this stuff. It's, it brings me joy, and I think it brings a lot of people in my position joy. So don't be afraid to do that.
My main advice would be more from a timing perspective. I would say that, so I know all of you guys are different ages right now and in different years, but do not worry about the timing of when you're going to get the job or when you need to start interviewing or applying. I know it is so easy when we see our friends, maybe in finance, in consulting, nursing, what have you, all these different professions that are on a little bit of different timelines. And so they're like, oh, I have my job a year out, 2 years out. I don't even know. But I think that it's so important to not get frazzled by that. And that's something I wish I knew, because I was freaking out thinking I have to have a job before December. And then I'm like, oh, I have to have a job before I graduate. I didn't even start interviewing for Bleacher Report until the week before graduation. And by the time the process was done, I got the job after graduation. And I'm so glad that, I waited for the right opportunity. So I think it's really about, don't be afraid of the timing. Just be focused on the opportunity.
Do you guys have any mentors or people that you look up to in the industry, and how has that kind of like guided you along your career so far?
Yeah, so from a sports broadcasting standpoint, Aaron Andrews is who I'm going to mention first. And I had finally worked my way up and got an email from Fox Sports my senior year of college, my senior only semester. They're like, hey, do you want to come be a runner for Aaron Andrews at the Detroit Lions-Packers game? I'm like, all right, fine, I'll do that. But I'd worked my way up 3.5 years to finally work with his idol. And she was amazing, by the way. She lives up to the hype. But she was a mentor at that point. Laura Oakman, who has a Galvanize boot camp, write that down. Galvanize, Laura Oakman, look her up. She has been my rock through this all. She really got me started with the interviewing process. And I found her from a college football's wife's friend. Literally, the networking, it's huge. A lot of my mentors were college football coaches because I wanted to learn the game and I wanted to get my foot in the door. And it's all about asking questions.
It's just like, what is the community of women like in the sports industry, and like how have you kind of gotten involved and like build your network among those women?
Yeah, so I'll jump in here. I think that there has been so many awesome opportunities at BR specifically when it comes to like building communities with all the women at the company. We actually have an affinity group called the BR Women's Network. I have my little sticker here. And so this was started a few years ago by a few women that just wanted to create like a community for people to talk, share ideas, maybe sometimes vent, get advice, put on different events. And so I recently joined this network and it's been absolutely amazing.